I said no about 4 times. I mean, it terrified me. There was no muscle in my body that told me I should play myself in a movie. Not one, and yet I did it. Nicolas Cage's words reveal a man whose life has often been a tension between fear and curiosity, hesitation and courage. Known for explosive performances and a distinctive intensity, Cage is a man whose public persona often masks a deeply reflective inner life. Beneath the iconic smile lies a human story shaped by loss, struggle, and a restless search for meaning. This is more than a story of fame. It is a portrait of resilience and redemption, showing how one man navigated the dizzying heights of Hollywood while carrying the shadows of his past. Cage's life, in its beauty and turbulence, is a testament to the enduring human desire for connection, purpose, and peace. Early shadows and identity struggles. Nicolas Cage's story begins not under the blazing lights of Hollywood, but in a home where silence could feel louder than laughter. Born Nicholas Kim Coppola on January 7th, 1964, in Long Beach, California, he was the youngest of 3 brothers in a family marked by artistry, intellect, and quiet fractures. His father, August Coppola, was a literature professor whose life revolved around discipline and philosophy, while his mother, Joy Vogelsang, a dancer and choreographer, struggled with fragile mental health. Cage later described his childhood as a series of quiet moments, punctuated by the distant sobs of his mother, where joy was fleeting and tension seemed constant. When he was 12, his parents' marriage finally fractured, leaving him to navigate the contrasting worlds of intellect and emotion. The divorce left a lasting imprint on Cage, instilling a sense of loneliness and a keen awareness of how to mask fear behind composure, a skill that would later define much of his acting style. At Beverly Hills High School, young Nicholas faced another challenge: his famous family name. While the Coppola legacy carried prestige, it also brought scrutiny. Peers often dismissed his success as inherited rather than earned, creating a sting of inadequacy and isolation. In response, he adopted the alias Roy "Nicky" Richards, draping himself in leather and dark glasses, a shield that allowed him to move through the world unseen and to reclaim control over his identity. This new persona was not whimsy but rebellion, a deliberate act of self-determination. Inspired by avant-garde composer John Cage and Marvel's Luke Cage, he transformed his identity, planting the seeds of the independence and daring that would characterize his later career. Acting emerged as a sanctuary amidst this turbulence. By age 15, he was drawn to the idea of channeling his pain and isolation into performance, seeing in it a transformative power. Acting became a lifeline, a way to turn the shadows of his early life into something tangible, expressive, and impactful. Every fragment of loneliness became fuel for intensity, creating the foundation for the raw, emotive performances that would define his career. Vulnerability as strength. The boy who hid behind glasses and aliases grew into an actor willing to confront both his fears and the world's expectations. His early performances often portrayed fractured souls, reflecting the very real wounds he carried inside. Cage's work was not simply about entertainment. It was a translation of personal experience into art. The silence of his childhood, the tension in his home, and the estrangement from peers became tools for empathy and authenticity on screen. Even as the world recognized his talent, Cage never stopped contending with the lingering echoes of rejection and isolation. Los Angeles, with its neon glow and bustling streets, often highlighted his sense of distance. While the city thrummed with laughter and opportunity, he felt apart, navigating a life of quiet invisibility while seeking ways to transform pain into artistry. Breaking away from privilege. At 17, Cage took a bold step. Forsaking the Coppola name, he left the comfort and privilege it offered, moving into modest apartments, sometimes sleeping in his car, and surviving on odd jobs. Hollywood was no longer a playground, but a proving ground. He walked cracked sidewalks alongside thousands of hopefuls, each trying to be seen. He was anonymous, yet resolute. Every rejection refined his craft, sharpened his focus, and strengthened his determination. The foundation of his future career was built not on lineage or luck, but on relentless effort and an unwavering commitment to honesty in performance. Early struggles and persistence. Cage's earliest Hollywood roles were far from glamorous. In the early 1980s, he appeared in small parts, often unnoticed. His role in The Best of Times barely registered, and in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, his scenes were cut entirely. These early setbacks could have extinguished his ambitions, but Cage's resilience and dedication propelled him forward. A turning point came with his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, offering him a role in Rumble Fish. Rather than rely on nepotism, Nicolas insisted on earning the part through merit. Around this time, he officially adopted the surname Cage, drawing inspiration from John Cage and Luke Cage, symbolizing artistic freedom and personal rebellion. This act of renaming marked both a literal and figurative rebirth, a declaration that he would carve his own path rather than inherit someone else's legacy. Crafting a legacy of authenticity. Cage's commitment to authenticity extended beyond simple name changes. In films like Birdie, 1984, he endured the physical discomfort of having teeth removed without anesthesia to portray pain accurately. In Racing with the Moon, he isolated himself in a cold trailer to channel solitude. Hollywood labeled him eccentric, but Cage called it truth, seeking to live each role fully, drawing from the depths of his own experiences. Audiences began to notice an actor who did not merely act but existed entirely in the moment of performance. His intensity was magnetic, a reflection of both talent and lived experience. Love, fame, and growing recognition. Cage's early successes blossomed into wider recognition with films like Moonstruck and Raising Arizona, which showcased both his comedic timing and emotional range. His unique blend of vulnerability and boldness drew acclaim, and he soon became a sought-after actor. Yet fame, as Cage would later learn, was a mixed blessing. The attention amplified his strengths, but also exposed his vulnerabilities. Wild at heart cemented his reputation as a daring and unconventional actor, blending chaos with authenticity. Critics and audiences alike acknowledged his magnetism, noting that he seemed to inhabit his roles entirely, blurring the line between self and character. The pinnacle and personal costs. By the mid-1990s, Cage's career reached extraordinary heights. His Oscar-winning performance in Leaving Las Vegas, 1995, was a raw, unflinching portrayal of a self-destructive man, reflecting Cage's ability to channel personal depth into art. Yet the triumph brought with it a sense of emptiness. Applause felt less like celebration and more like a reminder of what he had sacrificed: peace, quiet, and personal equilibrium. As blockbuster hits like The Rock, Con Air, and Face/Off made him a household name, Cage's wealth soared, reaching $20 million per film. His success, however, came with hidden costs: sleepless nights, relentless schedules, and the emotional toll of inhabiting intense roles. Extravagance and the perils of Fortune Cage's financial success led to an extravagant lifestyle. He purchased multiple estates, including a Gothic mansion in New Orleans, a historic English castle, and a private island in the Bahamas. His garages housed Ferraris, Rolls-Royces, and other exotic vehicles, while his collections of rare artifacts, meteorites, dinosaur skulls, and valuable comics created a unique personal museum. Yet even as these possessions glittered, they could not fill the emptiness he sometimes felt. The global financial crash of 2008 further complicated matters, significantly impacting his wealth. A lien filed by the Internal Revenue Service and market downturns forced Cage to sell much of his collection. His response was quiet determination. He refused to declare bankruptcy and chose instead to rebuild his life methodically, one project at a time. Rebuilding through work and art. In the aftermath of financial upheaval, Cage returned to his craft with renewed focus. He worked tirelessly, filming multiple projects per year across diverse genres. This period of relentless effort was less about fame than redemption, a reclamation of self. Independent filmmakers recognized the depth and dedication behind the public persona, offering roles that emphasized authenticity over spectacle. Films like Joe, Mandy, and Pig showcased a refined intensity, a quieter but no less compelling version of the actor who had once dazzled the world. Through this work, Cage rediscovered humility, resilience, and the core of what drew him to acting in the first place: truth, love, heartbreak, and personal growth. Cage's personal life mirrored the intensity of his career, full of passion, missteps, and profound lessons. Early relationships, such as with Christina Fulton, brought moments of tenderness and the joy of parenthood with the birth of his son, Weston. Yet the demands of Hollywood and the weight of ambition often led to distance and eventual heartbreak. Subsequent relationships, including those with Patricia Arquette and Lisa Marie Presley, were intense and transformative, each teaching him about love, loss, and self-awareness. These experiences, though painful, were never wasted. Cage channeled heartbreak into his performances, using personal insight to deepen his artistry, finding steadiness and family. True peace arrived later, through his relationship with Alice Kim, a young waitress whose grounded nature provided stability amid years of turbulence. Together, they built a quieter life and raised their son Cal away from the glare of Hollywood. Cage discovered that love could be steady, nurturing, and profoundly restorative, a contrast to the whirlwind romances that had defined much of his past. Family became central, offering grounding, purpose, and perspective beyond the fleeting nature of fame, redemption, and quiet joy. By his mid-50s, Cage had embraced a life of renewed balance. He met Rico Shibata, a calm and creative partner, and celebrated a small Las Vegas wedding to honor his late father. The birth of his daughter, August Francesca, in 2022, marked a culmination of personal fulfillment, demonstrating that happiness could emerge not from material excess, but from intimate, meaningful connections. Financially and emotionally, Cage rebuilt himself with patience and care. He sold extravagant properties, kept only what brought him joy, and focused on creating a home centered on family, simplicity, and stability. A career reframed Cage's later film choices, reflect his journey toward introspection and authenticity. Projects like Pig and Dream Scenario highlight a reflective, nuanced performance style, emphasizing subtlety, emotion, and presence over spectacle. His work now carries a quiet power, a testament to the lessons learned from decades of highs, lows, and personal growth. The actor who once chased fame now embraces truth, finding fulfillment in artistry that resonates both inside and outside the frame. Lessons in resilience. Nicolas Cage's life is a narrative of extremes: soaring success, staggering loss, profound love, and personal reinvention. Through it all, he has shown remarkable resilience, refusing to allow circumstance to define him entirely. Fame and fortune, while dazzling, never provided the peace he sought. Instead, persistence, reflection, and dedication to craft offered a path through turmoil toward meaning and satisfaction. Cage's story teaches that true strength lies not in uninterrupted triumph, but in the ability to rise after falling, to find clarity amid chaos, and to seek contentment in the midst of life's unpredictability. A life beyond fame. Today, Nicolas Cage lives with intention. Morning walks by the ocean, quiet family dinners, and simple rituals bring a sense of grounding that fame never afforded. His legacy, both on and off screen, is one of courage, creativity, and humanity. He has learned that happiness and success are not measured in awards or wealth, but in moments of presence, connection, and honesty. Cage's journey, from the boy hiding behind dark glasses to the man embracing vulnerability and love, stands as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Conclusion. The story of Nicolas Cage is a testament to the complex interplay of talent, ambition, vulnerability, and redemption. His life illustrates that greatness is not simply the sum of awards or box office hits, but the ability to endure, transform, and create meaning in the face of hardship. From early isolation to Hollywood stardom, financial collapse, and personal renewal, Cage has navigated extremes with courage and authenticity. Today, he embodies a quieter wisdom, a life enriched by family, love, and artistry, reminding us that the truest victories often emerge not from acclaim or fortune, but from the relentless pursuit of truth, balance, and connection. Nicolas Cage's journey reveals that resilience, love, and integrity are the ultimate measures of a life well lived, and that even amidst chaos, one can find profound peace.